Welcome to the Good Morning from the Chicken Coop podcast with Kim Johnson, your creative strategist and master mindset coach. Filled with inspiration, distinctions, perspectives, and possibilities, we help you to cultivate a mindset that leads you to create the best version of yourself you could ever imagine. Join Kim every morning from one of her favorite happy places, her chicken coop, along with all her chickens.
Hey everybody, good morning from the chicken coop. Apparently Raven wants to say good morning as well. Today I want to talk to you about intuition. And we all have intuition. It's all part of our built-in systems. Not all of us cultivate it quite in the best way that we possibly could by acknowledging that we have it in ways and saying, hey, I'm going to work on using this as much as I can. In fact, some of us are afraid to use it. And that's actually why I brought it up today, because I've had a lot of people as of late tell me that they felt like they had those intuitive moments, but that they backed off and they were like, oh, I should have listened to myself, but they didn't. And then there was this question of like, well, I didn't listen to myself, and then therefore I set myself up for failure. And I think it's kind of interesting because we all have the ability to do it. We all have the ability to call on intuition. We all have the ability to recognize it. But do we actually, cultivate it? Do we actually work on it? Do we actually use it to the fullest extent that we possibly can? And that answer is a big no, we don't necessarily do that. Part of the reason is it's not coveted like it used to be many, many years ago. There was a time in this world where intuition was something that people were really focused on, and they coveted the tool of having it. And some people had very, very, very high senses of it, and other people had, lower senses. But it really isn't because they didn't have the same level. It's just it hasn't been cultivated. So how do you cultivate your intuition? Well, the first thing is you've got to believe that you have it in order to cultivate it. You've got to believe it's a part of your hardwiring, and you've got to believe that you can tap into it and make it something for yourself. As soon as you start doing that, everything changes, because you can stop and pause and take in the fact that, okay, I'm getting a message, I'm feeling something about this, and I'm working towards having this be a tool I can tap into regularly. So if you don't use something, you lose it. I mean, that's a pretty standard operating procedure, and I think we all know that. If you don't use it, you lose it. Whether it's your body, working out, muscles, whatever. Don't use it, it goes away. Intuition is absolutely the same thing. And when we're little, we actually have a lot of intuition, and it guides us a lot. And then as we get older, we start to not trust ourselves as much. And the more you don't trust yourself, the more your ability to trust yourself starts to escape. It's part of intuition. As far as I'm concerned, it's all one big ball of wax. So the very first thing that you can do to correct this is to start asking yourself, what is my divide it out in your thought process and say, well, my head is telling me this and my heart is telling me this. For some people, they like to use head and heart. For some people, they like to use, well, my mind is saying this and my gut is saying this. Some people will say, I feel it in the pit of my stomach. And they know something is right or wrong. They know where they are with something. So you have to start just honing in on those small little clues that show up in your life, where you can tap it and say, wait, I recognize this. This is something to me that I should pay attention to. Now, in the beginning, you're not going to probably trust it as much as you should. 9 times out of 10, our gut is right. When our gut sends us a message, it's right. We don't always listen to it because we're so stubborn. We want to believe that our head is better than our heart. But quite honestly, when you're on it and you're dealing with that, it is usually spot on that your heart is going to steer you in the right direction. But the trick is you have to really listen to what it's saying. Because sometimes we'll have this, like, my heart wants something to work, but behind the scenes you're just like, I just know it's not going to work out. And you just know you shouldn't do something. You know there's something in there that says, even though it's right there. Well, that's where it gets tricky, because you have to discern, is that message a true message? Is it something that's muddled with what's going on in your head? And is all that muddled conversation confusing you as to, is it coming from your intuition? Is it coming from your analytical thought? What pot is it coming out of? So that comes into that place of getting super aware of what's going on, super aware of your thoughts. Sometimes it's really helpful to sit down and write it all out, because when you put it on paper, it seems to get so much clearer. You know that old school way of doing something where you draw a line down in the middle of a piece of paper and you say pros and cons? You can do that same type of exercise with my heart and my head, my gut and my mind. You can do that, and it really, really helps. So this little conversation is meant to put you on the path of working to cultivate it, build the skill. Allow yourself to have the skill and allow it to grow, 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 because the more you have of it, the more it will guide you, and the more you will be able to use it in the way it was meant to be, where you are tapped in and you are using it regularly in your daily life. So I hope you guys have a blessed day. I hope you use your intuition today to make some great distinctions for yourself, and I will see you all tomorrow.